Welcome to the Plant-Based Podcast. Did you know that plants are truly amazing? Not only can you grow them and eat them, you can also wear them, drink them, nourish your skin with them, and so much more. Let Ellen and Michael inspire you to love plants as much as they do, as they chat with the movers and shakers in this wonderful plant-based world. So, let's dig in.
Hello, we're British Garden Centres, the largest garden centre group in the UK with 73 garden centres. From Highlegate Garden Centre in Northumberland to Havant Garden Centre in Portsmouth and Carmarthen Garden Centre in South Wales and everywhere in between. We are so excited to be the sponsor of Series 18 of the Plant-Based Podcast. We're also celebrating our 35th birthday this year as British Garden Centres was launched in 1990 in Woodthorpe, Lincolnshire, by two brothers Charles and Robert Stubbs. They started by selling hedge cuttings outside their family home and have now recently opened their 73rd garden centre in the Lake District. We aim to provide you with great plants and gardening products at affordable prices with a first-class service delivered by a passionate team. Follow us on our journey on social media at British Garden Centres and find us online at britishgardencentres.com, where you can also shop online and get 10% off with the code PLANTS10. Let's keep Britain growing. Code expires on the 30th of June and gives 10% off everything excluding clearance and gift cards.
Hey guys, we have a special episode today with our sponsors of Series 18 of the podcast. It's British Garden Centres, and we've got Eve Kerrigan, who's the content creator at the brand, here today, who's going to tell us all about this phenomenally growing business. She's going to talk about the business of selling plants, best-selling plants, and the changes in the garden centre business over the last few years. So let's get this really cool behind-the-scenes garden centre gossip episode on the way. So welcome to the podcast, Eve.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited. Big fan.
Yay, welcome to the podcast, Eve. It's going to be great to chat with you. When you first came on before we were recording, Michael said exactly what I think. Whenever we hear your voice, it's like you're always so like upbeat and smiley and totally know it's you. So it's really cool to have you on the podcast.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. Really excited.
I would say, first of all, do you realise how iconic you've become?
No, that's terrifying. I just like plants and being happy. So if that comes across, then I'm well chuffed. But
like you have sort of your accent is quite like iconic and unique as well, and I think that stands out. And the other thing, I don't know if you planned this, but you always do a certain wave in your content. It's amazing.
For the people listening,
like a double hand wave.
Some of my colleagues joke that my job is wiggling and waving. So I really feel like I've got that nailed.
It's really like kind of. It's like a jazz hands on steroids. That's how I got added.
I'll take that.
Oh, honestly, it's amazing. But I'm sure we'll talk about you a little bit later as well. But we're going to talk about British Garden Centres first of all, because I'm sure some of our listeners have heard your voice before as you kind of introduce in our advert as well, talking about how the business kind of started. But can you run us through kind of that whole history of the very beginning? Because I was listening to an episode of our podcast today in the car. I do like to check the episodes. And you were saying that the original owners, the Stubbs family, they were selling hedging plants at the end of the driveway. Is that how the small garden centre change began?
Yeah, so so it's set up by two brothers, Charles and Robert Stubbs, who still own and run it today. The journey is just incredible, but they live in a little village called Woodthorpe in Lincolnshire, which is a tiny, tiny little village. And they used to sell what is it called, Michael? Those hedge
Lelandii.
Lelandii, that's it. They used to sell those cuttings.
So it's their fault, all these hedges that no one likes.
Yes, it is. That's it. But they used to sell those outside of their family home. And in 1990, they opened their first garden centre, Woodthorpe Garden Centre, just up the road from that family house. So that was 35 years ago. And, you know, they that business got, you know, really big, and they were really popular in the area for selling compost. And then 10 years after that, they opened what is now our flagship store, Brigg Garden Centre. It's one of our largest garden centres. I like to call it the Disney World of garden centres.
Oh, really?
It's fantastic. So they opened that in 2000, and then fast forward to 2025, and we now have 73 garden centres, and we're the largest garden centre group in the UK. 8 of which we have acquired this year, which it's, as you can imagine, it's been a crazy year for us. Crazy busy, but crazy good. And yes, it is still Charles and Robert who own and run the business to this day. And it is their absolute passion. I have never met such a hard-working family in my whole life, and they love it to bits, as well as I do. I think it shows in all the employees. We absolutely love the business.
Eve, I've got to say, I cannot believe a garden centre or, you know, group as big as British Garden Centres started off with Lelandii cuttings. Michael will have something to say about that, because he is on a conifer crusade, literally, at the moment, aren't you, Michael?
Yeah, and we also spotted you guys. We did our conifer episode, and you guys have put a little poster up in the conifer section in one of the garden centres I saw. I don't know if I can you guys, or maybe the garden centre.
Yeah, the conifer place you went to, are our suppliers. So
that is cool. Nice little look.
Yeah, there you go.
That's really cool. And Eve, also, I was just thinking when you were saying about how many garden centres you've got and then how many more have been added to like the group this year alone. As a content creator, this must be a dream. Like, you literally must have so much content all of the time.
Yeah, everything is content. And there's almost too much that I don't even know where to start. It's fantastic. But yeah, it's funny because we are such a family-owned business and the family are so involved, we still feel really small. And it's not until you think, oh, let's do everything times 73, you realise how big we are. We still feel like that small, close-knit sort of family. And we only have really a small team considering the size that we are. But yes, there is a lot of us and we are slowly taking over. Well, quickly, actually.
That's really amazing. Like, thinking how many years back this all started, there must have been so many changes. So are there any that really stand out to you or the group, or perhaps what's changed the business the most over the years, do you think?
Yeah, so I've had a chat with multiple people in the business, and a couple of things kept cropping up. I think one of the key ones is the importance of the garden centre restaurant. A garden centre now is a complete day out, and it's really difficult just to nip to the garden centre without going to the restaurant. And we've seen this increase, you know, year upon year. So 7 of the garden centres that we've taken over this year, each of them have had a full restaurant refurb into what we deem as like what we want all of our garden centre restaurants to look like. And do you know what? It's not a garden centre canteen. It's a really trendy restaurant that you'd want to go somewhere if you were going for a day out. But yeah, it's still catered for everyone. It's still really good value. And the food is delicious. So restaurants is massive. Also, in 2022, they built our business support hub at Brigg Garden Centre. So this is where the head office is based, because up until then, which is only a few years ago, the whole of head office was ran out of Brigg Garden Centre. And you can imagine we very, very quickly outgrew that space. Marketing, we're still based in the garden centre because we like to stay very close to what's happening. But yeah, so now we've got our own head office building. So it's where like buyers, payroll, finance, HR, health and safety, recruitment, all the behind the scenes people that you never see, that's where they're based. And then we're chatting to finance team, going paperless for them. I mean, It sounds a bit boring to us lot, but going paperless to them, they could not stress how important that was. They used to have to carry files and files and trays of paperwork between each garden centre. And you can imagine,
no way,
70 odd garden centres, paperwork for all of that. So they said that, and I thought I better include it for them.
It's a team effort. Stuff is important to run the business, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And when did just before we go into a few more questions about kind of like the demographic, the customer, I just want to kind of talk about yourself and your role, because obviously as a content creator, you're creating content for all the garden centres, kind of as at a brand level as well. Just tell us a bit about your background as well, because I think it's nice to kind of see how you're placed there. And obviously your role is one that wouldn't have existed, 10, 15, 20 years ago as well.
No, I am so lucky with my role, and I do class it as the dream job. So, I mean, I only really got into gardening. I am only young, really, but I got into it quite late.
How old is young? Because I'm
25,
young.
Michael.
25?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
I'm only 2 years older than you. 27, almost 27.
But yes,
25.
so I went to uni in Durham, and I did criminology.
Okay.
It's so random, but I always need to keep really engaged, because otherwise I thought I want to go to uni, but I don't want to get bored. So I thought criminology, that's so interesting. But then obviously lockdown hit, 2020, and they sent everyone home. And that is when I got into gardening, like so many other people. But I quickly realised this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Okay.
But I have no qualifications. I have no knowledge. I just absolutely love growing and gardening so much. So a dahlia grower, Andy from Dahlia Beach in Oxfordshire, I was following her journey on social media, and she was advertising for an au pair when she very first started her business. And I thought, this is my in. If I am her au pair, and I love children, I've got so many little cousins, I can look after her children, and then on my days off, I'll work on a farm for her for free, and I'll get all of this knowledge, and I'll learn how to grow and do all of these things. And that's what I did. And obviously that business took off, and we went to Chelsea in the first year, and we won the Director General's Award, and it took off in a way that we couldn't even imagine. And I absolutely loved it, and we grew the whole business on social media, and I managed the farm. I came back the next year and I managed it again. And then I realised that I really wanted to be back in Lincolnshire. I'm a Lincolnshire girl, born and bred. I loved Oxfordshire. I loved Dahlia Beach, but I just knew that I was ready for a change. And so I saw Amy Stubbs, which is obviously part of the Stubbs family, the daughter of Charles, who owns British Garden Centres. I saw her at the Chelsea Flower Show one year, and I went to school with Amy, and she was the year above me. And I said to her, "Oh, what are you doing here?" I had no idea of anything to do with the garden centre. And she said, "Oh, I'm here with the garden centre." And I knew that her family had something to do with my local garden centre. Garden centre, the first one that opened. And I said, "Oh, if you've ever got a job on plants, I would love to work on plants at the garden centre. I'll water them, I'll do anything. I just want a job in plants." And she said, she came back to me one day and she said, "Eve, you would be wasted in plants. And also, by the way, we've got 60 other garden centres, so I want you to work in marketing." And I had no idea. So that's how I got into it. Long story short.
That's a cool story. Wow.
Yeah, so, and I've never looked back, and I've been there 2 years, and I absolutely love it.
Honestly, that's really amazing, like how it all came about, from criminology to plants to marketing and bumping into someone at Chelsea. That's really, it's like it was meant to be.
Yeah, that's what I always say. It's meant to be, for sure.
Absolutely love that. Like, you were saying you're only 25. Oh my gosh, I crave those days. But do you think the demographic has changed since 2020 at all? Because you obviously got involved in plants when you were quite young. So do you think overall that's changed at the garden centre? Have you noticed a change in the demographic?
Yeah, so I would say it's changed a little. We have such a strong core customer base, which is families and over 50s naturally at the garden centre, and it's always been that way. However, 2020 did change things a little, and in 2021 that's when the business launched an Instagram page for every single one of our garden centres, plus on the brand level. So obviously that then allowed me to come in my role, and that has grown a lot quicker than we thought it would. And obviously, you know, and that demographic is mainly 25 to 44. So it's definitely changed a bit. I think it's growing quickly and it is going to continue to change. But yeah, getting that younger generation in, that is sort of our next big area and project within marketing for the business. So groups like the YPHA are fantastic because you know, they're really encouraging that younger generation.
Super cool. Wow. I love seeing the changes because, like, for me, you know, I was going into garden centres, you know, ever since I was young, and I feel like I've really seen a change in that as well. And it's really like, plants are cool now. And I know something being cool always feels a bit cheesy, but it's like everything has changed. And this morning I'd just been to Richmond Park, and I don't know if you heard of Isabella Plantation. It's like where all these colourful azaleas are. And you go there and, like, you know, probably 25 years ago, it would have been older demographic kind of people that just love plants. But this is attracting everyone. And I feel the thing that has helped that is really Instagram and social media, because people now see plants, they love plants, they interact with them, they want to learn more, they want to sow them. Even Sonia from EastEnders is growing cosmos from seed now. We're peaking. We are peaking.
I do love it when I go to a garden centre and I see either a young family or a young couple. And I really like, if I see someone kind of going to buy a plant and they're talking about where they're going to plant it, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't know if that's the right place. But I don't say, I really want to say, oh, you might want to try this or this, because that's not my job to do that. And like, we all learn, don't we? But I love it when I see them, because I just think, oh, I've noticed even in like my local garden centre nurseries, when I go in, that there are a kind of spread across the demographic. So, you know, I like you were saying, you have a core, there'll always be that core, you know, that's super important. But it is really lovely to see that.
Yeah. Super nice.
Yeah, kind of other groups of people there too. It's very cool.
Totally. But obviously, it's quite it's important to still appeal to people with garden centres, and garden centres have changed so much over the years. And when I'm in the Netherlands, for example, they feel like garden centres there's a chain called Intratown, and it feels like being in IKEA. There's a certain route to walk, and it feels quite sophisticated. And I feel like, you know, some of yours are going in that direction as well. So kind of talk to us a little bit about, how do you actually plan how a garden centre is going to look, the layout? And, you know, there's probably more thought that goes into that than we imagine as well. And of course, it needs to grow, you know, because garden centres expand. You know, they're going to make different areas bigger. I guess there's always a pressure of, like, you know, having as many plants as other products as well. And yeah, how do you guys balance all of that?
Yeah, so you couldn't have been more spot on with the IKEA thing, and that is something that comes up all the time. So a great example of this is we always try and position the restaurant to the back of the centre, just because it encourages people to explore the centre, because that is often where they're heading for, we found. So it encourages people to walk through, explore different areas, see things that they might not have gone in there for, you know, and even like in the entrances, putting things at the entrance of the garden centre that is either on a Best Buy or a family card offer. So family card is our garden centre membership where people can get exclusive offers. Things that are in full bloom or look, you know, instant colour is always put at the front, because they're things that people will quickly pick up. But really, it's a funny one, because what makes us so unique is that all of our garden centres are so individual. So that is why not every one of our garden centres is called British Garden Centres. It's why we make sure that we honour the local community by naming the garden centre after the local town. So, you know, you've got Woodthorpe Garden Centre is my local garden centre, and that is in the village of Woodthorpe. Or, there's one in Oxfordshire, you've got one in Chiltern called Chiltern Garden Centre, and one in Charlbury called Charlbury Garden Centre. So, we really like and value that individuality. So it means that each garden centre is slightly different. So hence why, it's fun, even for me, who I've been to so many of them now. It's great to go to because they're all so different. They have those key things that you notice and pick up, like the branding, for example, but they all are very different. But yes, encouraging people to try and walk as much of the garden centre as possible. It's definitely a way that we try and do it.
But that's not fun when you need a wee.
No, it isn't. I might agree with you there, Michael. I have been in that position before.
I was in a Dutch garden centre once, and I really needed a pee, and I'm like zigzagging for what it felt like an hour just to find the toilet. Honestly, it was mad.
And getting distracted as you're zigzagging because there's really cool things to look at. I need a wee. No, but what about those seeds? No, but I need a wee.
But that's so interesting because I think consumers don't realise how sophisticated kind of the layout of a store and the route of a store, and there's things that you put near the cash desk and stuff. And it's similar to when I was working in mail order catalogues. There's a layout to the page and where you're going to put products, where your eye catches them. And it's really
the operations team are always trying to improve, not only for our sake, for the selling aspect, but for the customer's sake of efficiency and ease. It's a balance.
That is cool.
What we mainly come to the garden centre for,
ooh la la,
that might be, tea and cake as well, or some nice food in the restaurant, but it's the plants. Like, how do you even choose what plants to sell? Like, I walk into a garden centre, I see all the plants, I think, how do you even decide? There's a squillion plants to choose from. So who chooses them and how?
Yeah.
I
want that job as well.
Yeah, I know. This is the crazy. So plants are at the heart of what we do. It's what we value at British Garden Centres over everything. It's where we started. And the owners, that is what they love. So we really value plants. We have a team of buyers. It's a very small team. I think it's mainly 4, maybe 5 or 6. I can't quite remember, but we have a team of buyers and they travel the UK. We also have 3 of our own nurseries where we grow our own plants, and they're growing.
Oh, really? Rapidly. I didn't realise that. That's interesting.
We do. I'm actually heading to one of our nurseries next week. Which I'm really excited about because apparently it's absolutely chock-a-block with plants. So we've got 3 of our own nurseries, and that is something that we're looking to grow. And then our buyers also travel all around the world looking for plants as well. But I've chatted to them about this because I wanted to really dig in deep about what they look for. So obviously we want to have range authority over all the other, plant selling people in the industry. So this means that the buyers look for, they have to make sure that we have the well-known core ranges that a customer is going to expect to see when they walk in the garden centre. So they need to cover that. But we also look for plants within each season that are going to bring differences to customers' gardens. So this could be new plants in the market. It could be looking at plants that have specific soil types or topography, value ranges. Obviously, we've got 73 garden centres across the whole of the UK. The buyers also look for plants that are going to do better in those sorts of areas in the UK as well as seasonal focus. Obviously, we really pride ourselves in being good value. So this does come in with, the cost does come into the final part of the buying process. However, the buyers have said that it's definitely not a decider on whether we stock something or not. We do like to bring in those higher value products as well. They also always try and buy plants that keep to our stock matching the natural garden seasons. So anything that's in full growth or colour now, they want it in the garden centre. And that is simply because it means the customers have access to the fullest range possible. So they can see what's on offer and they can choose themselves what they prefer. But also, again, a lot of input does come from the individual garden centres. The buyers are always checking in with each garden centre because they know their customers best. You know, the buyers are off out and about travelling all the time.
Because it must vary by location of what people...
Yeah, exactly.
And what they grow. And
so the centres, you know, the staff are always chatting with customers. If a customer comes in and be like, I'm looking for this specific plant, they will feed that out to the buyers and they will start looking for it. It is fascinating and they get to go all over the world. It's amazing. They send me videos of like recently they went to Italy and they saw all the specimen plants and the topiary, and it just looks, it looks amazing. But I don't know how they know. The thing that baffles me is how do they know how many to buy times 73? So they, you know, it sounds like an amazing job, but gosh, it's a lot of pressure, I think. But they do so well.
But what any feedback on what is kind of like the best sellers like across the I wonder if there is like, because if I was going to guess, maybe lavender. Like, what is the best seller across like all the centres?
Lavender is the top seller overall. Millions every year. It's crazy. But so I've talked to the buyers and they've told me some popular plants all every year, but also some best sellers this year because they said that the weather this year has been good, that it's caused some unusual spikes in sales, which I found really interesting. So things such as the semi-trailing azalea, that this year has been
that's cool.
so popular, which I found interesting. The Agapanthus everpanthus, that's been really popular this year. I think it's because it's got a long flowering period. Also, one of the most highest selling so far this year has been the Antirrhinum Snap in Black.
Really?
Wow, that's cool.
With the dark foliage. So that's one that they haven't seen coming this year. So I thought those ones were interesting. But obviously every year, really popular alpine and rock plants. So the Arboreta and the Campanula every year does so well. And
that's really cool insight.
It is really cool. And it seems to be, the pattern seems to be something that's easy to look after once it's established, and things that are really long flowering. That seems to come up all the time. Begonias are really popular, and then perennial wallflower, again, that's sort of up there with lavender. But yeah, I thought that was so interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if some things, when we mentioned begonias and wallflowers, I wonder if some things are nostalgia as well. Things that people, like if you're planting your first garden, you're going to remember what your parents used to plant when you were younger.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely think that comes into play.
Yeah, I do as well. I do plant frequently things that remind me of my uncle and auntie from their garden. Yeah. So, within those categories that you've just said, that's a really cool insight. What about all the annuals? Like, you must sell tons of annuals, like
definitely
petunias and marigolds and stuff like that.
Summer bedding, especially at the minute. I was at Brigg Garden Centre, the flagship, yesterday, and it is chock-a-block with that summer bedding, and people can't get enough of it. It's fantastic. Yeah. There's trolleys and trolleys and beds, and it just is amazing. So yeah, definitely very popular, especially at this time of year.
Yeah, good instant impact, right? You mentioned before how important the cafe or restaurants have become, but what about other areas of the garden centre? Do you have like pets and home? Like some garden centres have now got a pets, department, and then a clothing department, and then a at-home department with soaps and hand lotions and things. How important is that?
Yeah, we do have all of those areas, and they are really, really important. They're so important because garden centres have now become a day out for everyone. So having these areas means that we give people more reasons to visit, and also different demographics a reason to visit. But also it allows us to extend out our seasons and take out sort of those really high peaks and really low lows. So when we first started, plants, and April, May, springtime, you would have this really high peak where sales were amazing, but then in summer it would completely drop off. But then again, Christmas for us is like the biggest time of year. Again, it comes up really, it peaks again. So it just means that we've been able to stay more consistent across the board all year round, which is really important. And then again, restaurants, that is just meant that, it's very rare you nip to the garden centre without going there. So they're really, really important. And it just means that we can continue to grow because otherwise it's just so up and down. So it's really important. Yeah.
I love meeting someone for a cup of tea and a piece of cake at a garden centre. I have meetings at a garden centre. Michael and I, we've been to garden centres just to sit and do some work, and have a drink, and then meander around the garden centre. It really is it is a choice to go there and spend a few hours, isn't it? That's nice to have all those things to look at.
But they should do more savouries. There's always so much cake.
No.
I love a cheese scone, but they're just not there very often.
Well,
everyone has them.
I will take your feedback, Michael, and I will hand it over to the restaurant team.
But I feel that in any cafe, even in my local neighbourhood, it's like everything's so sweet. And I'm just what about the people that don't want sweet stuff? Yeah.
Maybe we need to have Perry picks in the restaurant or something.
I tell you what, Michael would always pick savoury. I would always pick sweet. I am very happy with cake. It's a treat to go to the garden centre, have a cup of tea and a lovely sweet piece of cake. Delicious.
I'm a carvery gal. If there's a carvery, I'm there.
Carvery. I haven't been to a carvery for years. Wow.
Oh, do you know what? I mean, I'm sort of biased, but our garden centre carveries are top tier. They are banging and incredible. And do you know what? Fun fact, I have been carvery trained at the garden centre.
Have you?
Yes, I have. I am a professional carver. I have been trained. It was for a video, but it counts.
It counts. Eve, you are a person of many talents.
But it's so interesting to hear more about these different areas. And I feel like Christmas has become such a big area as well. Just before we move on, talk to us a bit about Christmas, because this is really a flagship time. And when do you start to install it as well? Because I would approve whenever you say.
Christmas is the most magical time of year, and we really do take that to the extreme in our garden centres. We pride ourselves in having the best Christmas in your local area, and that is a big statement, and it's something that, we try and exceed every year. So we have, magical Christmas displays, we have every decoration you could possibly need, but also we have Christmas events. So we do grottos, we have ice skating rinks, we have, in our restaurants we do breakfast with Santa or Santa Paws with your dog. We really do take it to the absolute extreme because we love it. So normally the average centre will start in August. Just depends on the year and how furniture sales have gone, because normally the furniture department would turn into the Christmas department. And every year each centre likes to top itself then better than it did last year. So normally it starts in August, and we aim to launch it September, latest October time. Absolutely mental. And then the last couple of years, especially for us in marketing, we've made our own Christmas adverts, which has been one of the most exciting and magical things I've ever been a part of. And again, we're already talking about it. In marketing, our graphics team this year have been designing, our own products for Christmas this year, because our own brands have really come into play this year. And they're already designing all the boxes and sending them out. And so Christmas in marketing it's not stopped really. But yes, Christmas is massive.
Yeah. Oh, well, talk to us about PR, because obviously you do a lot of PR around Christmas, but you're also doing some kind of real life events. That's the wrong phrase, because everything's real life. You're also doing some other events such as Gardeners World Live, because you have a big presence there. You sponsor the main stage, but you also have a sales area. So talk to us about the different kind of PR activities you do sort of outside of the centres.
Yeah, so we do loads. Shows for us in the last couple of years have become increasingly important, mainly for a brand awareness point of view. Brand awareness for us is huge and something that we're constantly working on, just because sometimes you'll say to a customer, where's your local British garden centre? And they will name any garden centre in the UK that is not part of our portfolio. So this for us, is something that we're really trying to work on. And going to shows like BBC Gardeners World Live is just a way for us to meet customers that will not have necessarily been to a British garden centre before. And we can tell them about us. And also on a marketing level, Gardeners World Live, BBC Gardeners World Live is the biggest event that we do. And it's a chance for the marketing team to get out there on the ground and chat to customers, which, we're normally behind the scenes or behind the camera. We're not, on the shop floor. So it gives us a great opportunity to do a bit of sort of market research without people realising it. But yeah, it's massive. So also this year we did the Harrogate Flower Show, and for the first time ever we did a show garden and we got a gold, which is amazing.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, so we did that for Green Fingers. But yeah, these shows are massive. And BBC Gardeners World Live is coming up soon.
Yes, it is.
So we are in full swing for that and we're really excited. And obviously, Michael, you'll be joining us.
I will do, yeah. I'll be doing something on the stage both days. Maybe tentatively called Flower Deals on Wheels. Won't give any more info out of this stage, but yeah, it's going to be exciting.
I look forward to hearing all about it. So apart from the shows coming up, do you have any future business plans that you can, any secrets that you can tell us? Anything coming up?
Definitely. I think overall, continue to grow in every area of the business. So obviously we're family owned and still family run. So the next generation are now taking on senior management roles within the business, which is really exciting to see. They're growing up and they want to join in, which is fantastic. Also continuing to invest in our existing portfolio. So whether that's giving restaurants a refurb or, plants, all of that sort of stuff. And also we're always on the lookout for new sites. The owners love doing that. It's like watching kids shopping in a sweet shop. Seeing them looking at all these new garden centres is so exciting. Obviously, we want to continue to build our team and sort of just be the market leader of a garden centre group in the horticultural industry. I think that is what we strive for. We want to be that household name, really.
Love it.
Yeah, I guess that leads on to kind of like, almost do a little advert for our listeners. Why should they visit one of your garden centres? What do they get? Kind of like, what values do you guys kind of like hold yourselves to? Kind of like, what would be their customer experience? Kind of maybe mention you've got a loyalty scheme as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we've got you can sign up for Family Card when you visit our garden centres. It's a free garden centre membership. You get exclusive offers. It's also where you would get invites for exclusive events like our Christmas launch events. We invite our Family Card members, which is very exciting. So that's really easy to do. If you visit your local British Garden Centre, you can pick up a card and then you register it online and you're sorted. But also, we provide great plants and products all year round. We really do pride ourselves in delivering a first-class service with our fantastic team. And of course, we offer all this at really affordable prices. We want to be great value, but also great quality. And also, we really want to make sure that we educate our customers so that, when you do buy a product from us and you take it home, you have the best chance at success with it. And we want to provide that free knowledge and a bit of entertainment along the way.
That's cool. Very cool.
Love that.
And I think it is because, a lot of people might then go to a DIY store and buy their plants or this and that, and you don't get the kind of horticultural support you might get in a garden centre and in a good brand of garden centres as well. So that really makes a big difference.
It does. So tell us, Eve, where can our listeners find out more about British Garden Centres and you as well?
Yeah, so the best place to go is britishgardencenters.com. So on our website, you can find your local garden centre. You can also shop online. Last year, we launched a brand new website. So if you don't, if you've already been to the garden centre, of course, but think, I forgot that product, then you can also shop online, which is really exciting. And of course, make sure to follow us on social media. It's at British Garden Centres. And then if you do have a local British Garden Centre, each one of our British Garden Centres also has their own Facebook and Instagram page, just for a bit more local tailored information.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. I feel super upbeat about going to the garden centre now. Like you literally bring the jazz. Do you know what I mean? I love it.
I love it. If I could spend all the time there, I would.
I just want to pick up on one thing you said there, the mail order, because a garden centre doing mail order sounds quite unique to me. How does that work? Kind of, is the range as extensive of what you've got on the shelves, or?
No, it's definitely not there yet. It's something that we're working on. Obviously, it's the way the world's going and we want to keep up. So having a website and an online shop for us was really important. Plants is definitely tricky to do, and especially at the volume that we would need to do it. So it's definitely a work in progress. We absolutely love our website. Things like, plant food or gifts or barbecues and furniture, all of that, is online and fantastic. Seeds and all of that stuff. And it's just going to continue to grow, as well as, because we're growing that team as well, the web team. It's all very new to us, very exciting. So yeah, have a little look, britishgardencenters.com, and keep your eyes peeled, because it's only going to get better.
That's really, really cool. It's been so nice to speak to you today and learn out more, not just about the brand, but how a garden centre works as well, and all those kind of little quirks. And it is, it's a lot of people in the UK, it's their favourite pastime as well. So, yeah.
It's definitely mine.
Oh, definitely, for all of us. So thank you for joining us on the podcast today, Eve. We've really, really appreciated your time. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me. I've loved it.
No worries.
Thank you, Eve.
What, your chicken burger?
You drive me mad. You're either too quick or too slow. When I picked you up today, I brought Ellen from Southall Station to the airport, and I said, let's go for a little McDonald's dinner. And the minute she got in the car, it's almost like she'd been sniffing coffee. She was literally like, doing the typical thing she does, answering the next question before it's even been asked. It's like efficiency so much that you hit herself in the face coming backwards. And then I'd just been in McDonald's and had this whole meal. I ordered something extra, and she'd only just realised, now she's got in the car 10 minutes later, you also had a chicken burger. So you're either too fast or too slow. Is there any in between?
No.
Honestly, you are a nightmare. Jesus. I like your necklace.
I don't have a necklace on.
You do.
What's going on here?
What have you got around your neck?
I like your scarf.
You got a headphone scarf on. You're so cute. Oh, Ellen. Anyway, tell everyone why you're here.
Well, because I wanted to see you and have a McDonald's, obviously.
So you wanted to have it?
No, I did not.
You did, you just said
You
it.
literally made me go to McDonald's. That's so gross.
I thought it would be nice to have it as a sit-down meal. I wanted to bring a plate.
Just so you know, if we were dating, I'd
what?
I'd dump you now.
Where am I now?
Because you've taken me to
You wouldn't dump me now, because I've still got to take you to the bloody airport.
Oh no, I'd dump you.
And I've got your luggage in the boot.
I'd dump you by WhatsApp after you'd left me at the
Well,
airport.
draft it up ready, darling. Do you know what? My parents on a Friday, they have a McDonald's off plates.
Do they?
My dad drives and gets it, takes it home, and then they eat it off a
Oh,
plate.
that is so cute.
It must be cold.
Do you know what they have though?
I don't know.
What do they
A little
choose?
burger. They eat like birds, so yeah, they don't
That's
eat much.
such a cute little thing to do.
To be fair, we did another observation about Ellen is she eats like a bird. We had these veggie dippers, and I eat them in 2 bites. She eats them in 22 bites. Honestly, I was watching her eat this, and she's just like biting this tiny corner off. It's like, what are you doing? You think you're at a tasting session or something?
My husband says
Just eat the damn thing.
My husband says I eat like a sparrow.
What is that about?
I don't know, but what's all this Ellen bashing?
It must mean you eat less, generally.
Yeah, Ellen bashing. I've had enough now.
But I've got a friend actually, and we were literally with her in Amsterdam a couple of days ago. I'm not going to name her because it'll be embarrassing.
I already know who it is.
Do you really?
Yeah, because you post her on your stories.
Yeah? Okay, well, don't mention it. And she does everything so slowly, and it's really cute because I feel like she invented mindfulness.
Okay.
And the other day, I was like, I'm going to put you on time lapse just to get you on proper speed. Honestly.
But you are
and she eats slowly as well. I'm fast, yeah.
You move fast, like you walk fast.
You move fast, yeah.
You like, you know, you walk fast, you talk fast, you go to the next thing all the time.
Yeah.
Like you are on it all of the time. You're like totally opposite to someone who's like really mindful and slow.
Totally. Oh, Ellen, honestly, how's your allotment?
The allotment's lovely, thank
Yeah.
you. But I am now leaving.
I heard it looks shit.
That's absolute crap. No, it doesn't. It looks really
Sorry,
good.
I just wanted to be controversial.
You know, you said to me at the beginning of this podcast that I sniff coffee.
Yeah.
I think whatever you just ate had E numbers in it.
Oh dear, I don't know. I had 2 barbecue sauces and a garlic mayo.
Right, you are on it now.
Your dahlias.
Yeah, what about it?
You put 22 to bed and you woke 22 up, I heard.
Yay,
That is very good, Ella Mary. Well done.
But the twist
High five. I wanted you to high five at McDonald's, but then I
I'm
thought against
feeling
it.
really awkward about high
Oh, bless you. Well, I never know. When I'm in the barbers, they always want to do these cool handshakes. I got no idea.
Oh, what, like the shaker?
Yeah, or they do something with like boom.
boom.
And I'm like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. I don't know. Oh, sorry, I thought you had fluff on you. But
Oh, no, I don't.
it's just
hang on,
stripes.
hang on.
Right.
Let's return to David.
Yeah.
See, you've had coffee on
22 in, 22 out.
There's a twist though.
Yeah.
You know, everybody every year says the same thing about should you lift them or should you leave them.
You're so cute. I'm just looking at you. You're so cute.
You're
Carry on,
so
carry on.
weird.
Carry on.
So I left them, but because I
momentarily felt attracted to you. Right, so 22 in, 22 out.
weird. I feel very awkward sitting in your car now.
I feel at risk.
I feel completely at risk.
Right.
I forgot. Oh, right. So, like, I left them in, but then I went away to America, and I didn't come back and cut them down and mulch them until way after the first frost, right? So, I thought, obviously, I would lose some at least, if not all of them, but all of them have come back. Now, I'm on a sandy soil,
That's cool.
but everyone freaks out. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, the frost
Everyone
have
freaks
come,
out about everything.
and the dahlias are going to die, and da-da-da. And I'm just saying, the twist is, I just left them, and they've every single one come back.
But I think things are not always that frosty.
Oh,
Not like in the old days.
no.
I think even plants like
No.
Rebeckias will live through, and kind of
Yeah.
like some of those Nemesias, like some of the slightly tougher basket plants as well. So yeah.
So, you know, I do think that things are changing a little bit, because I was reading that obviously in the future will be more like the Mediterranean. I think I can see that.
But
When
it's
you
not-
garden, you can see things changing like year by year. Do you know what I mean? And I genuinely do think that that is happening.
But it's not always the frost that kills them. It's just them sitting wet a lot of the time, isn't it?
if you, I
So
would
it's more
say,
dependent on a wet winter.
yeah,
no?
if we did have a really wet winter, but I'm on a really sandy soil. So if you had a heavier soil, then that they may not have
It's
survived.
got like a dreamy Dutch soil then.
I have got beautiful soil.
Because whenever
on
I'm in
that
the
allotment.
Netherlands, I'm like, oh my God, this soil
Honestly,
is just beautiful.
that is absolutely perfect
Oh,
soil
God.
on my allotment.
Honestly.
So that is obviously a major factor of it.
Ooh
But
la la.
I was kind of going to be very philosophical about it. Like, well, if they all die, they all die. It's just an opportunity for something new. But they've all come back.
All right, well, that's cool.
Anyway, that's the story of my dahlias.
Oh, la la.
Tell me about tulips.
Tulips, I've seen some wonderful tulips last few weeks.
Favourites?
I was first going to tell you about my veg trug, actually.
Okay.
Got a veg trug on my balcony now,
Oh, that's
which
cute.
is wonderful. I put the sign on the wrong way up, so that's a bit of a bum, but never mind. Oh God, I hate putting things together, honestly. And it's even worse when you're on time lapse and you've lost your temper so much that you can still tell on time lapse that you've lost your temper. Jesus.
You are bad at DIY.
So are you!
we're not
Don't you come at me
We're
with that.
not talking about me right now.
Oh, honestly. But it's great. But Did you have a veg truck? No, you had a veggie pod.
I've had both.
Veg.
I've had a veg truck in our old cottage and a veggie pod.
Well, you know this bit. You know this thing that you plant into the material.
Yes. Yeah. It's like a fleece. Like
yeah.
cultural fleece.
Am I supposed to staple it to the side? Because it's like flapping around.
Oh, do you not like cut it to fit or like tuck it in?
It just kind of sits there. Well, I guess I could
tuck it in.
But I was thinking I might staple it. I'll ask someone if they've got a staple gun.
I actually think that we did staple it.
Yeah. It seems to make more sense.
It's the wooden one with the black fleece.
Yeah.
I think we stapled
really cool,
it in. And it was really nice. When we moved house, we were moving somewhere where we couldn't take it. We actually sold it. Mm-hmm. Someone came away and took it.
On Facebook.
Yeah, like Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. It was good.
Oh yeah, it's really cool actually. But I need to sort on my balconies. All my primroses are like shadows of their former selves, and I need to have a little.
Well, you've been away for a week.
I know. So. Honestly, it's really with so much travel I've been doing the last year or so. You just can't. You just got to have big plants that look after themselves. You know what I mean? You can't have anything in a 9-centimetre pot. I'll tell you.
Oh my goodness.
Oh. What was your previous question? Tulips, yeah. I've been on the cruise in the Netherlands, which is my toughest piece of work in the year, I have to say. Not really.
Cruising around the Netherlands.
Actually.
Hard work.
And then I was doing 2 outside broadcasts for QVC from the tulip fields, both of which had their own challenges. Like, the setup was a bit kind of muddled on the first one, and the second one, it was starting to rain like 20 minutes before, but like thankfully you could tell, when it's rain, but it hasn't set in, so we just kind of like grinned and bared it. But it was like so windy, they had to like park a big tractor as a windbreak.
Really?
But thankfully there's lots of tractors available. So
of course,
all right, yeah.
Of course.
But it's really cool actually. It's always so nice to like sell amongst the plants, you know what I mean? So
it looked really cool, and I loved your photos and reels. Some really lovely variety.
Oh, thank you.
Brown sugar is always your favourite.
Oh, it is definitely. But there's a lovely one called strawberry cream. Looks like a lotus flower.
Oh, beautiful.
That's really cool. And ice cream. We were selling the ice cream ones.
Yeah.
They're always really cool as well.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh. The tulip season's nearly over. It's always weird.
You love tulips. You love bulbs.
Everyone does. Yeah.
They're so beautiful, and I think it's also the time of year.
Yeah, I feel like when it gets to summer, it's just like everything just gets out of hand. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
It's just everything's happening everywhere.
Watering and weeding, and then I don't know, cutting flowers or harvesting.
Even flower-wise,
oh my god, there's so much stuff.
I know. I just like spring is much more restrained.
But also
and the light. And,
it's hopeful. True. It's a lovely time of year. Well, that's very cool.
I know.
Get you.
Thank you. Get me in.
I'm still thinking about your parents getting McDonald's and taking it.
I know. So sweet. You just registered that, yeah.
No, it just popped into my mind again since we're sitting here in McDonald's car park.
He's got a McDonald's.
Shall we just talk about?
I would never. I have to eat at McDonald's immediately. It gets cold so quickly. I could not bear to eat a lukewarm McDonald's.
No, I wouldn't want to take it home. But I'm not really a McDonald's girl, to be fair. So I've not really tried it anyway.
Yeah, I got no idea why it was in my head today, but yeah. But
that's what you fancied, so that's what you got. Hey, Malvern's on at the moment.
Hey.
Let's talk about Malvern.
I'm going there tomorrow to film with QVC and Emma Real Davis.
You're going to get to see all of the gardens and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have any that you've got your eye on that you specifically want to go see?
Nah.
That's not true. I know that's not true.
I want to see Kate Mason. I think she's an icon. And I think she needs to enter an award this year for best social media campaign, because there's one thing to build a garden, but another thing to document it on the way, because
and document really well.
Oh my god, yeah. Honestly, it's just amazing and quite inspirational for people who might have been considering building a garden or something, and just showing the real behind the scenes of it. It's been astounding.
And it's really nice to see she's got
I just remembered something.
A team come along with her to help out.
Yeah, there's a big sweet pea there in the border. One of the perennial ones.
The perennial one. I've got them on the allotment.
Oh, cool.
Are you recording on my phone?
There's
my phone.
I just realised the other one that I'm looking forward to is from last week's gossip. I had Meg and Gemma. Gemma did the Hope for Humanity garden at Chelsea last year that was based on the film Last of Us.
Yeah.
But was that last year or the year before? Last year.
That was last year.
But Meg is doing this kind of like neon plant display at Malvern.
I saw a glimpse
That's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
Looks very cool. And then, is it Bearded Plantaholic?
Yes, he's done one that looks pretty epic as well. And Worcester Terrariums.
Yeah.
With Jungle Haven.
It's really cool that a show has got that, like, the houseplant vibe going on.
Totally.
I mean, I know that's by Green Rooms Mark, so it's Sarah Gerard Jones and Liquid Gold, but that's really, really cool.
Oh, totally.
I have a little bit of FOMO about that, not seeing the houseplant stuff. But, I mean, honestly, I'm also not that bothered.
Well, I've got also what's known as a strong opinion.
No shit.
No, I like with some of the gardens. I feel like especially because I'm going to the show. I feel like I don't want to see them in their entirety on social media until I'm there.
Yeah.
So I feel like there should be maybe a rule that you can't post about them until maybe halfway through the week or something.
Right.
Because I feel like as a visitor, I'm quite excited about seeing the gardens, and I want part of it to be a surprise. Do you know what I mean?
Like you can post snippets of the building, all of that, but not the whole garden.
Yeah, but then I understand if people can't make it to the show, that's cool.
Yeah, like that.
That's why I do it halfway through the week.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see them, obviously online. I'm not going. But I think maybe at least until judging is done.
Yeah, because I feel like
that.
It's kind of like it's a great thing to share it with people, but I kind of like I feel like
that is a very strong.
I want to be
opinion.
Surprised more. Yeah, I'm not into strong opinions, really. Yeah.
Aren't you?
Not usually, no.
Really?
Oh, very easygoing melon.
I mean, you still have your opinions that you're very like. Yeah, you do.
I was just tired of them windows. Oh my god.
Oh, God, I don't know. Cruising around the Netherlands must be such hard work.
I slept till 9 a.m. this morning, Melon.
How wonderful. That's probably why you're tired. But we were saying before that's when you know your body needs it.
Yeah, no, totally.
It is lovely to not have to put an alarm on and then still not wake up really early. And just sleep until you wake up and go, I'm ready now.
100%
normal. Beautiful. How very nice.
Oh, cool. Well, our editor told us to keep this gossip short, so...
Gareth, we're doing what you tell us for a change.
Cool. In that case, good night.
Good night. Oh, no, hang on. It's good night from him and it's good night from me. Is that the right way round?
No, babe.
Oh.
Growing your own food is one of the most rewarding parts of gardening, and with barbecue season upon us, now is a great time to take alfresco dining to another level. Nip into your local British Garden Centre to shop our range of ready-to-harvest veg plants. Plus, we have an epic range of tomato and dynamite chilli plants in store now. We want to keep Britain growing and recognise the need to educate our customers. So if you have any questions on growing your own food, then you can speak to our horticultural specialists in store or follow us on social media at British Garden Centres for our best top tips and how-tos. Let's get growing.
The music for the Plant-Based podcast is part of the song Grow by Mikey James, and our editor is Gareth Patch of Semi Echo.